Hello, everyone. Sorry. But today I'm ranking Skylanders based off of Arena Rumble. I am less experienced with Arena Rumble. Why is this Tails unorganized? Whatever. Anyway, but I think that this could work. My brain is not turned on today. I need to reboot real quick. Good enough. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to be ranking Skylanders based off how good they are at Arena Rumble. Starting with Spyro, he does alright damage. The thing with him is that his tertiary attack does damage, but it makes him vulnerable. Despite being his highest damage attack. Probably not his highest damage per second, but that requires the fireball path. And the ram attack does good damage, but only if you go for the ram path. So Spyro's in an awkward state where he only gets to choose one good move or the other good move that could be good. And his Soul Gem and Wow Power are actually kind of good, even though they make him vulnerable. I'm gonna stick him in B tier though. Next is Double Trouble, and he is definitely a lot better than Spyro. He doesn't really need a secondary and a tertiary attack, but he has them, and his primary attack is amazing. So yeah, you can't go wrong with him. His primary attack is where he shoots the laser. It sticks onto enemies, and it does fairly consistent damage. It's like 40 per second. He's very good. He's very good at getting close to enemies and destroying them, or the other player, I guess. Which is why he is better than Spyro. Even though Spyro's long-ranged. I'm not really sure about health, because I'm not sure which Skylanders have how much health. I know that the Giants have a lot of health, and Trigger Happy does not. And that's about it. So yeah, definitely a good Skylander, Double Trouble. Next is Wrecking Ball, and he is going in D tier. He's not good at battle mode. He's just a cute little blob. That's about it. His primary attack doesn't really... It's like nice chip damage, but it doesn't do that much. His burp attack is... I'm not sure how much damage it does, but I'm pretty sure it's not enough. And his tertiary... Oh wait, no, his burp attack is his tertiary attack, isn't it? I don't remember. But anyway, the barrel roll moves I think is his secondary or tertiary. It's a lot of fun, and it can turn into a disco ball with a wow pow. But it just doesn't really do enough. It makes you go flying all over the place. It probably does nice damage. But it's hard to control, and it will probably put you in a bad spot usually. And next is Voodoo, and I don't think Voodoo is that good. He can approach easily, and he can do decent damage. And that's about it. I think he's in B tier. He is better than Spyro, because his approach tool is a lot better because it doesn't take charging up to do damage. And he can mash his primary attack for close range damage, instead of having to rely on his either Soul Gem, which makes him vulnerable, or his Wow Pow, which doesn't do that much. Wait, what? My brain just stopped. But anyway, not Wow Pow, but primary attack, which is meant to be a long-ranged attack that doesn't do a whole lot of damage. So yeah. Next is Pop Fizz. And I don't know. I basically never played as Pop Fizz. His primary attack is like the same as Boomer. His secondary attack, which I think is the Beast Mode, right? Yeah, that is good close range. And then I'm not sure what his other attack is. It's probably some kind of healing move with a potion. But next is Ninjini, who is going in C tier. Actually, no. Yeah, B tier. Above Spyro. See, the thing with Ninjini is the bottle move gives her basically shield, which is basically invincibility, because this is Skylanders Giants. So, so it's really good, and then you can just mash A, which homes in, and it's basically Zook's tertiary, but it's faster, but it doesn't spawn a cactus. So it's the same as another character's attack with one less thing, but another thing that's better. Which is why Ninjini is in B tier. She also has a lot of health being a giant, with the downside of being slow, because giant. Next is Gilgrunt. Gilgrunt isn't that good. Actually, I don't really know. Gilgrunt's primary attack is basically Spyro's primary attack. I just don't know. His primary attack is Spyro's projectile. His secondary is just flying. And his tertiary is a water gun. Unless the water gun is the secondary. I don't know. Next is Slam Bam. And let's just say being able to freeze enemies is really good. Especially for a Skylander that's already good without it. With a great approach tool. And the fast primary attack, it actually is more DPS than Double Troubles. Very much S tier potential. In fact, possibly even just S tier. Next is Zap. And I don't know, because I haven't really tested him much in battle mode. His primary attack shoots a nice zappy laser. It's basically a single projectile. That's what it is. His secondary is where he slides around, I think. And then, yeah. And it leaves a trail, and when you electrocute the trail, the lightning goes through it, and you can damage enemies that walk into that trail, which includes the enemy. And the tertiary is the wave. And I'm not sure about the wave. I don't know. Next is Whamshell. And I don't remember what his moveset actually was. It's been a while since I did the tier list for Ring Out. I know he has a swing attack and a slime attack with lightning. And I don't know what the other one is. I think it's good. I'm not sure. I would just put him in IDK. Arena Rumble is not my strong suit. That would go to Ring Out. I have more knowledge on that. Next is Chill. And next is Thumpback. And I think he goes into B tier. Or A tier, maybe? I don't know. I really don't. I love how I have 4 Water Skylanders in the IDK tier. I think Gilgrunt could go in C or D tier. I'm just not sure where. But anyway. Thumpback, here's the thing. He is one of 3 giants. Technically 4. But one of 4 giants with a movement ability. Out of the other ones, 2 of them are kind of slow, and the other one is actually really good, and that giant is possibly S tier worthy. So yeah, Thumpback is really good. His primary attack, startingly, is a swing with that anchor that you can see in his figure, I guess. It does pretty good damage. And he can spin around with it, which does good damage. His secondary attack, I've done no research for this. His secondary attack is a jump dive thingy where he dives forward and moves forward, I guess. And then his tertiary attack, I think, is just a bite attack. It's not very good. I think it's mostly just a finishing move because it doesn't do much damage. But yeah, with just the primary and secondary, I think Thumpback is pretty good. He was given the freezing ability, he would be amazing though. Next is Trigger Happy, and I think he goes in S tier. I'll probably figure out which Skylanders in the A tier go into the S tier. Maybe some Skylanders are underrated and even the IDK. In a sequel to this tier list, that might happen later. When I get a Skylanders collection going of my own. Right now, I use my dad's. Anyway, Trigger Happy's primary attack, mash A, win. The projectiles bounce off of walls and they go everywhere and it's hard to dodge. Basically impossible, actually. His secondary attack is where he spawns the minigun. I think that's what it is, unless that's the tertiary. But what that does is he shoots gold coins everywhere, and I mean everywhere, and it's insane. Well, I guess not really, because the ones from the minigun attack don't bounce off walls. His tertiary attack shoots a pot of gold that does good damage on its own and doesn't require mashing a button. So yeah. Next is Drobot, which has... Oh, actually I forgot. One thing I know about Trigger Happy, is his biggest flaw, and it's his health. And this is the only Skylander where I know this, other than the Giants. But Trigger Happy's health is pretty low. He is like... I still think that doesn't stop him from going in S tier. And by the way, his WoW Pal, unless it's a Soul Gem, I don't know. I think it's the WoW Pal, where he shoots the big laser. It's incredible. It does a bunch of damage. I'm pretty sure Hex has like the same thing, I think, but I'm not sure about that. Yeah, Trigger Happy has a ridiculous attack, where it shoots a Kamehameha at the enemy, and it kills them instantly, because it does like 300 damage. Next is Drobot, and he is really good. His primary attack is amazing, his secondary attack is pretty bad, and his tertiary attack is really good in conjunction with the primary attack, because it doesn't make him as vulnerable as Spyro's flying move. But yeah, his primary attack shoots fast lasers. I think we all know what Drobot's moveset is, actually. I think the same can be said with the starter pack Skylanders from SSA and Giants. I'll talk about every Skylander anyway, though. So Drobot's primary attack is where he spams the lasers, and they're really fast moving, and they're very, very spammy, like even faster than Trigger Happy's. And his secondary attack is the Soul Blades that suck, and we should never invest our coins and our upgrade pass into them. And his tertiary attack is flying, and I'm pretty sure when he is flying, if he is shooting at an enemy, it will lock into that facing that direction, and it's really good because he can just keep spamming. Anyway, next is Drill Sergeant, which is basically hold B, hold Z, win. That's like his entire moveset. His primary attack shoots one projectile, and it's his arms, and you could shoot two, and then you have to wait to reload, and it takes a while, and it's very slow, and you should never have to focus on it. Instead, what you do is you run around like crazy with the secondary, and spam the tertiary projectile, which is basically Drobot's, I think. And the secondary is basically Wrecking Ball's movement, but like you can control where you go, kinda. And it's really good, and it's better than Thumpback's movement, because Thumpback's isn't too fast. Again, I'm not sure about health. I think he's kind of low for a Skylander. Next is Boomer, and I don't know. Next is Sprocket, and I don't know. Next is Bouncer, and he's immediate S tier. It's not a competition. He's basically Trigger Happy, but you give him more health. And his Soul Gem is insane. You press A and B, and you do 80 to 160 damage to the enemy from across the map. And it's homing a little. It's ridiculous. You can basically 3-shot Trigger Happy. And yeah, it's really good. And his projectiles still bounce and are really fast. But his secondary attack and his tertiary attack, I don't know, I don't care. I just know his primary and the Soul Gem, because that's all you need. That's how you win. Next is Stealth Elf, and I don't know. Next is Stump Smash. I think he goes in B tier. Like, you know what? I don't know. Zook, I do know, even without Arena Rumble experience with him. And he is damn good. Any homing projectile is going to home into his cactuses when he uses his secondary attack or his tertiary. And they get everywhere, and they destroy everything. And he's really, really good. He is like the best Skylander for the life element. And that's including Camo, Shroom Boom, and Tree Rex, which I know are all really good options. 2 due to experience, and 3 due to knowledge and experience. But anyway, next is Camo. His primary attack shoots a laser, and when you hold the A button while shooting the laser, it spins around you. You can have up to 3 spinning around you, and they heal you when you have all 3 up. And then you can bring out the watermelons and destroy. He also has a secondary attack, which with that upgrade path is amazing. I'm not sure which upgrade path is the best. I've only actually really used the one in battle mode, and it's the watermelon path. So yeah, I don't know. Man, I'm tired. Anyway, Camo is amazing because all of his attacks are really good. One for healing, one for good damage, and control of the map, basically. And yeah, it does have massive AoE. And his other attack, which is really good damage. But 2 of those are only really good if you pick one or the other path, which sucks, but I can live with that. Which is why he's an A tier, but he's better than Thumpback, better than blah 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 blah. If I added an A plus tier, the A tier would only have 2 Skylanders. I swear, almost everybody in the A tier could go in S tier. Next is Shroom Boom, who I know goes in S tier. Now, I don't think Trigger Happy's one weakness makes him only barely S tier. I think he does pretty well in S tier. Anyway, next is Shroom Boom, and I am gonna call him better than Camo. Fight me. Anyway, Shroom Boom's primary attack is very basic. His secondary attack is a shield against melee, and it stops Skylanders from following you. If a drill sergeant runs into that, he's gonna get bounced off. Zook has basically the same thing, but it's not a full circle. And his tertiary attack, which gets everywhere, gets spores on you, does tick damage. It's very annoying. Or chip damage, I guess. And next is... he goes in A tier. I forget his name. Tree Rex. There we go. His primary attack is where he punches the ground. His secondary attack is where he ramps. His tertiary attack is a laser. If you pick the laser part, it shoots everywhere. It's really fast, actually. And you can obliterate, because it does more damage than Spyro's and Drobot's lasers. Don't quote me on that. I don't actually know, but it probably is. And if you go with the other path, he has an elbow drop, but that's not very good, and I never use it, because, yeah. Anyway, next is... I should probably take a break, actually, because I don't know any of these. I'll just get rid of the Skylanders I don't know. Alright, I fixed up the I don't know... oh, wait, hold up. I fixed up the I don't know tier, so now it's got all the stuff I don't know. Oh, wait, hold up. Okay, now, everything else I know where it goes, hopefully, unless I'm stupid, which I don't think I am too stupid. So, next is Eruptor, and he's going in D tier. Eruptor is not good in battle mode. His primary attack doesn't have enough range to be good. His secondary, which I think is the lava bath, is good AoE, but it leaves him vulnerable, and it's not that good. It doesn't have enough range compared to how vulnerable it makes him, even with the fireballs, which I think is either a Soul Gem or a Wow Power. And I forget what his other attack is. I don't think it's that good. So yeah, he sucks. I will give him benefit of the doubt though, because I don't know where he is, what his other attack is, so I'll put him in C tier for now. C tier alongside Igniter. His primary attack slams a sword onto the ground. His secondary, he shoots a fireball, which makes him move. Actually, no, that's the tertiary, isn't it? His secondary is a basic swing, and his tertiary is where he shoots a fireball, and you can control the fireball. And I'm not sure anything else, but I do know that if you charge up the swing, or the big slam into the ground with the sword, it turns blue and has massive range. It becomes like a sniper attack almost. So yeah, what are we doing that? Next is Sunburn. I keep forgetting a lot of these Skylanders' names. Just like I'm gonna put Spyro on C tier as well. Because I think he is better than Spyro, but like almost C tier, but not quite. His primary attack is a basic flamethrower. It's a ranged attack, but it doesn't have enough range, which is why it's not that good. Well, it's okay because of its damage. His secondary is where he teleports, I think. And then his tertiary is a basic flying move. It's very boring. So yeah, he pretty much has one attack, and it's a decent attack. So he doesn't really get to do too much. He's not that good. Next is Eruptor. And I think Eruptor is just... not Eruptor, Hothead. And I think Hothead is just Eruptor, but with everything he needs to be a decent Skylander. His AoE attack is no longer a buff, but a lava rain. But it's further, it's like bigger, it has more area, which is what bigger means. And if you hold down the attack button, I think it's the tertiary attack, which means the Z button. I'm not sure for Xbox 360 and PS3. When I mention the controls, I mean by the Wii. Because that's how I play Skylanders. Anyway, when you hold the tertiary attack button, it makes a big sun fireball thing. His primary attack is also just a flamethrower move, similar to Eruptor's. Wait, no. It's a flamethrower move, which actually has similar range to Sunburns. And his secondary attack spills oil, which you can set on fire with either his primary or his tertiary attack. And then it will burn the enemy, which I think is similar to the tertiary attack that Shroom Boom has. And also, on another note, he could turn himself into a motorcycle. So I'm actually going to put him into the motorcycle tier above S tier. That was totally here before now. And I'm not just making this up on the spot because he turned into a motorcycle. So yeah, that's pretty much all you need to know. Anyway, next up is Bash, and I think Bash is pretty good. The A tier is absolutely flooded. I think we need to drop a giant into B tier. And Drill Sergeant can go there too, because he's alright, but like, is he really that good? Probably, but like still. So Bash is 3 attacks. His primary attack is a swing, which you can hold down to do more damage. The issue with this swing is that you have to get really close to the enemy, otherwise you just won't hit the enemy. So yeah, the Bash is a close range Skylander. But when you hold it down, I think it does 40 extra damage. So it goes from 80 to 120. Maybe it does a bit more damage, I don't know. That's just what I think. The secondary attack is where he rolls around for movement, which is basically his approach tool. And his tertiary attack summons a wall that you can hit to fly into the enemy and damage them. My brain is malfunctioning today. I think I need to do this tomorrow. But next is... I really need to have done this tomorrow. I had to have gotten this done at some point anyway. But yeah, he's Prism Break. His primary attack is a basic laser, and his secondary attack is... It summons crystals that slam into the ground. They can hit an enemy. I think they do pretty good damage. Where did my brain go today? Anyway, his tertiary attack summons crystals that go around, and... it's so fucking early. And it's 10:30, so it's not really that early, but it feels that early. But yeah, what he does is... His tertiary attack is where he slams into the ground and spawns like different types of crystals around him in a circle. It's basically his way of getting close range Skylanders to get off him so that they have to get back on him, which can be difficult because the lasers. By the way, the lasers do not home in, similar to what Voodoo does, but when he shoots his laser at the secondary attack crystals, they do kind of split into multiple, and you can do probably good burst damage if you can manage to get the enemy to get hit by multiple of the lasers. And that's difficult, and I'm too lazy, so get wrecked plus Bozo plus ratio. He has good map control because of this, but still. I think he has good access to everything, but he doesn't do enough damage. This is just, like, the first. So it could be changed. This entire tier list is subject to change. Except for the S tier, because I think all of the Skylanders there can stay in the S tier. Maybe except Zook. Zook probably needs more testing. So does Shroom Boom, actually. But next is Terrafin. And similar to Bash, they both have movement abilities, a close-ranged attack, and an okay tertiary attack. Well, Terrafin's isn't that good, but still. But Terrafin has a better movement, but his punches are worse than the spin tail whack thing. So yeah, Terrafin's primary attack is where he punches with his fists, and they do a bit of damage. They're really close range, and apparently they're clunky. I've never really had that issue in battle mode. His secondary attack is where he digs underground. And you can actually use his tertiary underground, but when you try to use his primary underground, he does like a body slam that does like 80 damage. Which allows him to set, which is basically how he gets into the enemy. Does a bunch of damage and then starts just smacking them. Just spanking, like, Anyway, his tertiary, he, like, summons little baby sharks that dig right in front of him. And they do a bit of damage. They're alright. They didn't do too much, though. Next is Dino-Rang. And I'm gonna take a nap. Anyway, next I'm gonna talk about Dino-Rang. His primary attack shoots a boomerang. His secondary attack, it spins around him. And his tertiary attack puts a wall in front of him. But unlike Bash's, I don't think he can shoot them out with as a projectile. I think it just stays there and launches enemies up if they get hit by it. I don't know. I think he's not that good in battle mode. I'm gonna be honest. Next is Flashwing. A primary attack shoots fast-moving projectiles. The secondary attack is a big dash, and the tertiary shoots crystals in a circle around her, except for in front of her. So you can mash the tertiary attack button, and then the primary attack button, and then the tertiary, and then the primary, and you can just keep spamming that until the enemy is dead, destroyed, demolished, absolutely obliterated, denied access to existence. That's about it. Her movement ability is, I think, about on par with, like, Terrafin's, except it doesn't make her invincible. Maybe it's even better, though. Maybe it's like Drill Sergeant's movement. Who knows, really? All I know is that I know Flashwing is pretty good. And next is Crusher. And Crusher is the second Skylander to appear in this tier list that, to my knowledge, can stun the enemy Skylander, sorta. Well, freeze them. Except it's got a different coat of paint. So he has Slam Bam's ability to freeze enemies, which is pretty good. Actually, really good. I'm gonna put him in the S tier. Even with that alone and an okay close range primary attack, he can already reach like B tier, which is where he'll be going. So Crush's primary attack is basically where he slams his dad into the ground and it does damage. I'm pretty sure, I don't think this is an upgrade path, but when you slam into the ground, if you hold the primary attack button, it can shoot like a line that does damage at once. Well, it's similar to Terrafin's thinger, except it does singular damage rather than overtime damage. So yeah. Crusher is pretty alright. Look guys, I don't know. I really don't. But I do think he's in B tier. He's definitely the worst Skylander for battle mode. I think he's a little better than Dino-Rang. Oh yeah, and I forgot about his other attacks. So he can just split off into a bunch of pieces, which I'm pretty sure you can just attack the different pieces. And it will damage him. So that's not very good. But he also has his laser eye thingo that freezes the enemy and does nice damage. I didn't take a nap, by the way. I'm still kind of tired. I went to bed at 10. And then no, at like 9. Well, maybe it was 10. Look, I don't remember. All I know is that I woke up at like 10:47. And then went to get a glass of milk. And then went back to bed. And then woke up at like 4:30 a.m. And then went back to bed. And then woke... at 5, by the way. And then woke up at 7 and was just like, okay, I give up. I took my meds, and then I just... Yeah, sure, let's just move on with the day. So yeah, anyway... Crusher can freeze enemies, which makes them completely unable to move unless they shake themselves out of being frozen by shaking the Wii remote. I think it's one of the joysticks. I don't know. All I know is that on the Wii version, you shake the joystick. Next is Spyro, but a little bit better. That's literally what this is. That's what Cinder is. She shoots lightning lasers, and she can fly, and her WoW Power and her Soul Gem, I think, are literally the same, but with lightning instead of fireball. And she can also, I forget what her secondary is. I think it's just another ram attack. I don't know. I really don't. But she's alright. She's like, again, she's just Spyro, but with a different coat of paint. Now we're on to our last 5 Skylanders. Starting off with Chop Chop. With the shield path, he is insane. Like, I played him through, like, half the main story of Spyro's Adventure. No, wait, did I beat that game? No, I didn't. Rip me. Anyway. Yeah, with his sword path, he's really good, I think. I'm not sure, I've never tested the sword path. With the shield path, he's incredible, okay? So picture this. You can pull up your shield, right? And then when the enemy, like Crusher or something... Oh, no, like Trigger Happy... Or, no, Slam Bam. Yeah, Slam Bam tries to punch you, but your shield is up. And then he shoots a giant freaking laser. By the way, he takes, like, no damage from it. He shoots a ginormous laser that does, like, all of the damage that would have done, but, like, a lot more, I think. And it does a bunch of damage, right? And then you can finish him off with the sword. Or, like, you could just keep holding up the shield, so he'd have to go around you. Except, I think Slam Bam can just freeze you anyway. He hard counters, like, all the close-range Skylanders in the A and S tier. I guess, in all of the list. But imagine trying to defeat a Chop Chop and you're playing as a Raptor, though. Or Igniter. That would be wild. I don't think you could do it. But next is Eyebrow, and Eyebrow is going in S tier. I don't care. It's probably not... well... I think that's how it goes. Yeah. But yeah, what Eyebrow does is he shoots his eye laser, he spams the eye laser spawns the little babies, and the little babies, they do tick damage, or chip damage, and you just keep spamming the laser, and then it comes back to you, and you just fly them off again. Yeah, you don't need the punching attack, you just need the eye lasers. And don't ever use the tertiary attack button. Just don't, it sucks. It's not worth using. And always go with the eye path, the eye laser path. There is no reason to not use it. So yeah, Eyebrow is like the best Skylander. We get the cream of the crop, and next is the cream of the crap. Oh well, just crap, I don't know. Warnado, awesome design. He's like the best Skylander in design. Well, other than Eyebrow, which I had as a Halloween costume. Pretty sure I have a photo of that somewhere. I don't know. It was really cool. But then the person who helped me get all of the knowledge for Skylanders broke into our house and destroyed a bunch of shit. I'm pretty sure one of these things includes the Halloween costume, which is why we don't have it anymore. You suck, Chris. I hate you. Kill yourself. Anyway. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, Warnado. So yeah, Warnado is not good. There we go. Much better. Warnado's primary attack is like a movement ability. It's close to... it's like similar to Thumpback's, except it's a lot worse. I'm pretty sure it does less damage, and it takes a while to be able to use again. And he doesn't really have any other damage options. His secondary attack summons a tornado that flies enemies away. I'm not sure if it works on giants. I have to test that later. I probably will at some point. But for now, it's just, he's not good. And his tertiary attack is a boring flying move. I think he can shoot turtles around. I don't know. I really don't. So yeah, he sucks. He's in D tier. And next we have this guy, Lightning Rod. That's his name. Anyway. Oh wow, remember when I said the A tier is flooded? Now look at the B tier. I do think Lightning Rod is in A tier or B tier. I'm just not sure which one. Maybe he's even high A tier. But yeah, his primary attack, he shoots a laser. His secondary attack, he shoots a laser. And his tertiary attack, I'm pretty sure his range just shoots a laser. But they're all different, okay? So one attack is a basic laser shoot. It's like similar to T-Rex's laser shoot because it's singular projectile. And then there's another one where he grows really big and then shoots a lightning bolt from the sky and he can control where it goes and it's really good. And I forget what the other one is, but I'm pretty sure it's just the same thing, but you can't move it around. Oh no, it's a Kamehameha. Unless it isn't. Look, I don't know. I really don't. All I know is that he is kind of good. Not better than Chop Chop. I'll actually move Chop Chop up a bit. Like, in front of Double Trouble. There we go. And next is Swarm, the final Skylander we're talking about. End it off with a banger. Because he's going in S tier, my guy. Woo! He's basically got the health of a giant with the speed of a basic core. And that's really good. That is really good. And he's normally slow, but you can use flying, and then you can spam the attack. And it's, like, just, Trigger Happy's primary attack, but, like, half the spammy speed. So, yeah, you just want to boop, 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 instead of a boop, 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 boop. And I'm pretty sure it does a bit more damage. Who cares? It's not gonna be by much. Anyway. And then Swarm's tertiary attack is literally completely useless, and his primary attack, on its own, it's like, you can use it, I guess. It's just a basic swipe. Also, don't forget B is for Butt Stinger. I'm not sure why that's a soul gem, it really shouldn't be. I want there to be a Skylanders game where there's a Series 2 for every giant, and they all get WoW powers, and they bring back battle mode. I know that's not gonna happen because they killed their series. Oh, it's gonna happen anyway. But like, Imaginators, not very good. I've never actually played it, but all I know is that probably not good. I played a little bit of Superchargers, and it was alright. I've also played quite a bit of Swap Force, but all of its levels are way too boring. Holy shit. How do people live with that? How can anyone say Swap Force is the best game when they have to spend 10 hours on one level? Jesus. Anyway, sorry for ranting. That's not what the video is about. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Blah, blah, blah. See y'all next time. Outro here.